We should be live. It is Sunday. It is needle felting day. And we are back working on our Bob Ross needle felt along. We are on season 3. We are getting to the end of season 3 though. We are working on episode 12 out of the 13 tutorials in this season. We're getting there. And this one is called Hidden Lake in his tutorial series. For anyone that wants to watch the tutorial in full with no interruptions, without it muted, the link is in the chat and it is pinned there, and that will take you to his channel where you can watch that in full on YouTube. So when we last left off on this guy, we were working on putting our grass in. And that's where we are going to pick up. Hopefully I won't need more of these colors fluffed. I'm a little nervous on the forest green. We might have enough, but we'll see how that one pans out here. So I do a mixture of colors for our grass. So we're going to start with some forest green from the Big Twist Value line of yarn from Joann's, not sponsored. We're going to go with some light green from the Seam Big Twist Value line. I'm just taking a little bit and pulling the fibers out, kind of laying them on top of each other. And we'll also grab some mustard from the same line, just to give us some little yellowy things in there. It almost is close to like an ochre color, maybe a little bit more on the orange side of ochre, but it's not terrible. It's hard to get exact color matches to what Bob's using when we are working with fluff. My hands are a little too smooth today, so we're going to get some water, just a drop on the palm, just to give us enough friction to get going here. I'm just going to make a bit of a little fluffy snake, just to bring all those colors in closer together. And we'll figure out where we want this guy to go. Actually, I'm going to tuck that little tiny wisp of a tail down there. Alright. I was actually starting with the tips. That one got a little high. And then bringing down to where I wanted the bottom to line up, because I wanted this back row a little bit taller. Than the ones that are like right up. On the water. Now I do it in these color layers and in small amounts at a go here, so we can get a little bit more color variation as we are going. And this is why I didn't want to make a new set of grass that I was going to have to hold on to for a week. So that's why we stopped where we did. Now you can start at the base of where you want your grass to sit, or you can work at the tips and then work down to the base. I kind of seem to prefer starting at the base. I will start at the tip sometimes just to vary it a little bit. I'm just going to come in and snip the tail and come back in and try to get the loose ends from where we just snipped. I mean, we'll end up getting them tucked in with the next pass that we do, because there's going to be a pass sitting over top of that. You can use your needle to gently fan out your fluff if you so choose. If you want to get it a little more spread out there, that's going to be a personal choice. And my finger that's in the way here is not putting very much pressure down on that tail there. It's just like normal finger weight pressure, just to keep the needle from grabbing everything, because it doesn't need everything there. Now I did not pop that up on the last pass. So, got our next pass coming in here. And you can rotate your fluff snake as you're bringing it in, like for each set, like after each snip you can turn it if you want, just to give you a little bit more variety in the colors that might be peeking through in certain areas. If you want to do that, that's fine. Give it a little more of a natural feel to it. I mean, it is a little stripy, so on the tail itself, or a little snake. Okay. Oh, back over there in your fluff pile. And you don't have to make your grass all the same height. In fact, I would recommend you having a little bit of height variation. I would try to keep your row somewhat straight. I mean, I know it probably won't be. When everything is said and done. But, I mean, straight-ish if you can. And this will be a little time consuming, right? Because we have to keep stopping and repositioning and snipping and all that, but it's not so bad. Hope everybody's having a good day. It is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. To all of the dads. Our kids are fur children, so not like they were making a husband breakfast or anything today, so we got started a little bit early. Life aligned just so. I was toying with editing a little bit before stream time, but then I didn't want to lose track of time. So, here we are. So I might get distracted greatly while I'm editing and get bored while I'm editing and have my brain wander off, but I didn't want to be clock watching either, so it's okay. We can use the few extra minutes to start to get somewhere on our grassy bits here. A little extra time will not go to waste. Now, if you don't want to do straight rows, you can zigzag it a little bit. If you can blend it so it's not quite so noticeably zigzagged, that's going to be up to you. This is just how I like to do it. Okay. Snippy, snippy, snippy. Did she ever put her button back on?
Hmm?
Did she ever put her button back on?
I'll have to double check.
Okay. I have to remember I don't have stream avatars running right now, so I don't have the flamingo noise to boop me when someone starts chatting, which is the real reason why I wanted that, because sometimes we get involved in the little honky noise of the flamingo sounds. Alerts me that somebody said something. But we don't have that during art stream. Okay. So let's get this spread out here. Okay. That section up there looked like it could have used just a little more tapping in. Okay. I'm getting this guy tapped into here. Slide that over to there. Alright, yeah, you can see our grass line coming into play here on the camera. I think I fixed the fuzzy look on the second monitor. Thought I was losing my mind. I'm like, why is the camera so much clearer on monitor 1, but when I look at monitor 2, it just looks so fuzzy. And I realized after the stream on Saturday, the art stream, I was not zoomed in enough. Forgot I've got two different zooms going. The art stream should have been 300. And I was at 220 for the needle felting. I'd saved it at 220 for needle felting. Alright, we're almost done with this bit of fluff. And we'll have to get ourselves a new bit of fluff here in just a second. Okay, so we're going to be adding some, let me rephrase that, we might be adding some late night streams here and there. They're going to be bonus streams because I can't say for certain when we're going to do them. I don't have specific days in mind just yet. I was thinking about doing them on our normal dark afternoons, but we'll see what happens with that. So that one just had a tiny bit left. So I made that into like a V shape. Just a little bit easier to deal with. So that way we're not handling a little tiny nub, essentially. gonna brush our back down here. I had cleaned this mat before we gotten started, but it likes to eat some of our fluff, and that's fine. It happens with this type of mat. Alright, so this time how about we start with some of our mustard. Grab a little bit of our forest green here. And then some of our light green. Alright. Might have made this one a little thin. We'll see what happens as we get this twisted together. Alright, so it's not too bad. The middle's a little thin there. We should be okay. Alright. And I know it's the same colors, so you're probably thinking, well, how do you get variation out of the same colors? Just the way you add them into each other, the amounts. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, now I haven't decided if I'm just gonna record the oil painting and just save that for YouTube. Or if we're gonna live stream it, we might just live stream it. Okay. So we're not doing too bad here. All things considered. This is just our first row of grass. We do have a few more rows to go. This might be one that takes a few more sessions to get through because we had to do, well, we didn't have to do, but we did quite a few layers of trees. So I was like, wow, we're on session 8, we should be almost done, but then I'm looking at the thing and I'm like, oh no. I don't know if this is going to be a 12 session guy or not. This might be a little bit more than 12. We'll have to see how things go here. Like, Bob's got like some shrubbies and things like coming down into here. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. We might just leave it all grass. The main key takeaway from it is that he's got grassy things happening here. And we're still kind of following along with the same basic idea of mountains, tree layers, and grassy things. But I think ours is going to be a little more open. Around the water itself. God, I thought that was Momo Goering for a second. I was like, oh my god. Why are we so angry? There's a car. And a car that did not sound well either. Okay. Now just kind of re-roll it a little bit, just in case anybody got a little too unraveled there after we snipped it. Okay. So we're almost done this first row of grass. It's a slightly slower process, but it's worth it, I think. That piece kind of split down the middle, didn't it? Kinda. Never really know what the fluff is gonna do until you start working with it. Sometimes you can keep a tighter handle on it than others. Other times, the fluff is like, I do what I want. Gosh, I almost need to get... Do we have any more fun noodles in the laundry room?
Any more what?
Not fun noodles. Pool noodles?
Not that I'm aware of.
Alright. I kind of want to get one. I only need a small piece of it. Because I want to cut a slit in one, in a small chunk of it, and put it over this one end of the keyboard tray. Because the way I'm sitting when I'm doing art, my knee is jamming into the edge of it. And it's making the skin sore there. Dollar General probably has some. This time of year they usually do. Okay. Get that little bit of loose end tapped in as fast as we can. We might not be able to get all of it, but we can try to get some of it in there. Alright. Alright, and it might have been a little bit long to to do the V shape on that one, but at the same time, it would have been a little short if we had cut it to work with, so that's okay. We have a slight open spot right in here, but I think we'll leave that be because the next row will probably cover a good portion of that. Alright, so we have just a little bit here that we still need to put grass into. Let go, Fuzz. Alright, so we're just gonna grab the next round of fluff here. Alright. Lay you down in there. Bit of water. This one might be a little thin. Probably got a little too stingy with our amount of fluff there. That's alright. I've got a couple of rough skin flakes. The edge of my hand, it almost looks like I caught my hand on something. No idea what. Okay, dripped a little bit of water on our tape there. So yeah, if you're looking for a specific height, I would tap in the tips of your grass section first. Because if you tap the base in first, it's going to pull all the fiber to you that's above it. So if you're really dead set on it being a specific height, I would do tips first and then work your way down to the base. Just so if you're looking for a consistent height, you're not fighting your material. And it'll be a little bit easier to work with that way. Got one more bit of fluff. I think I just laid that over top of the wrong spot. Oh well. I'm not entirely surprised. Guess my brain was like, no, there wasn't enough there. Okay, brain. If you say so. try to get that in along our tape line first. Just in an attempt to make that a little bit easier. Okay. Alright, first row's in. I could use a little more. There we go. Alrighty. Next row. If you would, please. I'm gonna scooch that up there. Alright, now to figure out where we want the base of our next bit of fluff to be, which is the tricky part, really. I don't want to completely eat up everything that we just did. Because that wouldn't be so good. Okay. But I do want it to overlap the little bit that we did just do to a degree. We have a little bit of brown poking through, then we have a little bit of brown poking through. That I'm okay with in this instance. And I just want to make sure we're getting all of our tails attached there. I do know that this side's a little wonkier than this side. I do acknowledge that. Our tape idea almost worked, but I didn't quite get it on the line, and I know I went over the line a little bit on this side. But, you know, we'll do what we can when we go to clean things up here a bit. pop that guy up there. You know what? I think we're due to rotate our pad here. Now for this one, I'm just gonna try to keep the bottom edge of our row similar. Probably won't be the exact same because it's me. But we're gonna try. Do what we can. And we'll see where it takes us. Okay. So we're definitely getting there. It is coming together. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We'll snip that bit there. And I'm just gonna brush that down there. Don't have to do that part. I just feel it helps the front be a little bit smoother without too many peaks and valleys. Doesn't always help, but sometimes it does. Oh, there's a doggy behind me. Because my chair just rolled back a little bit and I heard a doggy panic to get out of the way. What was it that was behind me? Hi, Momo. Hi, my guy. What's up? What's the matter? Hi. Oh, head scratches. The happiest of times. Oh, look at that tail go. Look at that tail go, Muffin. Hi. What's up? What can I do for you? Do you really need to go potty again? It's been like an hour. Or did you not actually pee with Dad?
No, go on. Dude, it's been an hour. Go chill. Go fill up with your brother.
He's not gonna. I'll have to get him in a minute. It doesn't work that way. Ever since his bladder problems in the afternoon, he wants to go like every hour. Let me just finish with this little bit of fluff, okay, Momo? We've got like 2 more, maybe 3 more rounds of it. Okay? I mean, I get that he's a little bit bored and stuff, but he's also old. He either wants to be outside eating grass or inside napping half the time, or trying to lick the guinea pigs. I don't know why he's obsessively trying to lick the guinea pigs, but he is. He doesn't really care that much about the cats.
Oh, to be fair, the guinea pigs will swat him if he gets too close.
That is true. Give me just a minute, Momo. We're just gonna finish up this tiny little bit of fluff so it doesn't wander away from me. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, we'll snip that. So see, we do have a little bit of brown poking through in there, but that feels a little more, you know, organic. That just kind of happened. That might be a little tall. Alright, we'll go 1 more, and then we'll do the V shape. And then I'll run the doggy out to pee. I don't think there's ads for subscribers. I don't think. But I will be running a 1-minute ad break here in just a minute. And the ad break will probably be done before I get back with Momo. Because Pupper likes to dilly-dally. That's just how it is with the mosasaur. So I would take this time to go for a potty break yourselves, get up and stretch, get a snack, get a drink. Maybe take a walk around your house just to keep the blood flow moving. Alright, and we will be right back. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. I needed to get up and stretch anyway. I went to get up and realized everything had locked up, and I'm like, oh wow, okay. Right. So that was probably a good thing to do. Right, there's just that little bit of yellow left there, so I'm just gonna go with it. Alright. And I'm just gonna do our little fluffy snake hair, just to bring all of our fibery bits together. Alright, I think we'll start at the more robust end, why not? Okay. So we'll get this worked into here. That bit of grass is a bit more yellow. This section will probably be a bit more yellow. That's just the way it's going to be. Now you could, if you wanted to, have a couple different fluff snakes going with different amounts of each of the colors. So if you wanted to cluster an area a little bit more in the yellow and have it surrounded by a little bit more heavier green, you can do that too. However you want the area around your lake to look. As Bob says, it's your world. So you might as well go for it. And got going on here? Okay. I thought they said it was high pollen today, but actually looks like it was listed as moderate. But boy, when I woke up, my eyes were angry. Oh, so itchy. I had actually wanted to get a bit more editing done than I did last night, because I was awake enough to work on it, but Momo wasn't having it. I didn't realize what was wrong until after I had shut down my computer, and I was like, oh, that's what you're mad about. Because sometimes he gets mad if I'm not in bed when Russell goes to bed. He doesn't get mad if Russell's up past me, but he gets mad at me. He's always been kinda fussy about me staying up when he wants to sleep. And I'm like, bud, you're not even sleeping in bed with me right now. I don't understand why you're mad. Because we had turned all the lights off in the bedroom. Had the one light on I used for a nightlight. Had our humidifier going. Had all of the things happening. And he wasn't having it. And then I remembered he didn't get his late night snack. And I was like, oh, that's what this is about, I think. But I got through about a half an hour. Maybe 40 minutes of video editing last night. I really feel like I could have gotten close to finishing that third live stream if the pepper hadn't been so angry that I didn't know what was the problem. If I figured out the problem, I would have tried to get that video finished. Gonna see if the husband can get some done on his video this week, providing we don't have a whole bunch of issues. This past week, it seemed like every time we were settling in to get some stuff done, something else came to the forefront and needed attention. So this brown thing on my finger, because I get a lot of questions about it, is a finger protector. It's a finger coat. Finger cots. C-O-T-E. It's just a little, like a little armor sleeve. Kind of feels like it's faux leather. It is still possible to stab through it and hurt yourself, but you wouldn't hurt yourself as much. It does slow the needle down a little bit. Sometimes the needle will just glance off of it, but it is possible to go through the finger coat, so it's not your end all be all. You still have to be careful. So do keep that in mind. Okay. So I think we're still looking pretty good here. All things considered. Still like how we're coming along. Now I might need to pause our grass to do our water line before we get too ahead of ourselves. Maybe at some point here. I'm just scraping gently the little tips of the fiber just to fan them out just a little bit. Gets us a little more coverage. And then it's not quite so clumped up on top of each other. And remember to take your time. A, so you don't break your needle. And B, so you actually get to enjoy the process of it. Then you can, stop and think a little bit about how you want stuff placed. Alright. So we are moving right along here. I know it doesn't seem like it, but we are. I'm gonna flip this guy over. Just make sure that we're doing okay back in there. Now you can make your grass as tall as you want in between the rows. I've got mine a little bit tight, at least in this area. Probably a little bit tighter than I should have gone. I do want a little bit of dirt visible. Along the edge of the lake here. Okay. It's not that much shorter. Like, I didn't shorten it too much coming up into here. So I was beginning to think I did. not too bad here. Probably could have been a little bit longer. Alright, so this guy's gonna be a little bit tall. More than likely. I probably could have gotten one more small one out of that before we did our V shape. But it kind of blended in there, so it's all good. It's very stiff. The thicker felt definitely helps in the stiffness department. Okay. So again, the three colors that we are blending together here to get our grassy goodness are going to be all from Big Twist Value Line from Joann's. Again, not sponsored. What are you up to?
Oh, just had some puff stickers.
Huh. They're going to be mustard, forest green, and light green. You can use any color combination for your grass that you see fit. I would suggest doing at least 2 different colors, just so it doesn't become just a solid sheet of one color. That's why we're doing the 3, just to break it up a little bit, to kind of give it a more grassy appearance. Alright, so we are all set to go with our next fluffy snake hair. Okay. So we'll get this guy popped into here. So I think after we finish out this row, I'm going to start in the middle on the next one, just so I can get my height on the next row, my length on the next row sorted. Because I do want some brown still showing. Around the edge of the water here. I kind of lost my bottom edge here. That's how we know we got a little too close to the bottom edge above us. I had a piece of fuzz sticking onto the edge of my glasses. It might have been a reflection. Oh, that's annoying. I did not mean to lose that bottom edge there. Had a feeling that was going to happen. Say it can to a degree if I'm too close. Alright, well, if I've already lost the bottom edge there, there's nothing stopping us from working out where we want the bottom edge of that next bit to come in. I do want just a little bit of brown visible on the edge of our water here. There we go. I'm like twisting my hand to get that edge of the finger coat to where I wanted it to be, and I'm like, silly, just twist the finger coat. Okay. So that should be enough of a dirt space around that edge of the lake for what we're looking for. So I think I might just continue with that edge. That one I got a little bit long there. I mean, it'll be okay because we'll just work it in. Alright, I'm gonna pop that guy up just for a second. I think we'll keep going in this direction. Okay. So let's get that piece clipped off of there. He might have taken it a little bit closer to the edge of the water, but that's probably a good enough distance there for us. Motorcycles going by. All of the traffic today. Well, it hasn't been too bad for a Sunday. Not really. I'm just coming back in and getting a little bit more of the edge of that brown there. And fanning out our fiber a little bit. Just to help with the variation a little. Pop that section up there. Momo, it's not time yet. You gotta wait 20 more minutes, buddy. It's not time yet. I promise I'll let you know when it is. It hasn't even been an hour yet, my guy. He does not like me live streaming. I could sit here and be doing this without live streaming, and he wouldn't be nearly as fussy. Okay, pop that up. Alright, so let's see here. We keep losing our edge here. I mean, I'm not terribly surprised. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep that edge now. See if we can. Sometimes that's a little easier said than done. Because we are pulling the fiber in different directions near here, I'm just going to re-tap in around the edge of this just to make sure that that's still as attached as I was looking for it to be. Okay. So we're just gonna brush down all of that. And we're gonna go ahead and rotate our mat there. Get our baseline figured out, and then I'll start it working my way up. So right now that bottom line is where I want my attention to be, since we keep losing track of it. And we'll just make sure that all of our little loose ends are attached, like always. And we'll just flare out our loose ends here. And get them attached. Okay. Alright, pop that up. It's another hot one out there today. It's around 90. I mean, technically, summer hasn't even really started yet, officially. So I think it's gonna be a long one this summer. Okay. So we have just a little guy here. Let's see if we can keep that bottom edge going. As best as we can here. I'm gonna have to finish up a little bit on this side, and then I'm gonna come back and take care of that other edge there. We're starting to get into sections where we might do one side before we go back and finish up the other. We do have a thin spot there. How about that? Well, we'll have to make sure that we get that covered up as best as we can. And we'll get a little bit more of our yellow here. A little bit more. Alright, that's not too bad. Okay. We will pick back up where we left off on this row. There we go. I was a little off center on my chair. One part of my leg was getting angry about that. Okay. So we're almost done this row. On this side. We still have to go back and finish the other half. And remember to periodically take a minute and sit back and look at how things are going. Make sure you're happy with the state of things before they get too far. Because if you don't like the direction something's going in, now would be a good time to change it. Especially with your grasses. Okay, so maybe one more on this side. Let's see. And then we've got this guy here. So I'm gonna get his bottom edge worked in here. I'm gonna keep flaring out our edges here as they get pulled in. At least until we can get them attached, because as we were tapping the bottom, they were all getting sucked down, as it tends to do, and being all bunchied up. Okay. So let's come back over to here. And start to work on this guy. I did snip that one a little bit longer than the attachment point. Not too much, but a little bit, just because I think I was a little short on that specific piece. Alright. I'm trying to use the end of our finger doodle here as my measuring tool. For just how far down we need to be. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it works better than others. Alright, so we'll do that line across there. Now who's up? Now what doggy is that? Is that Momo? Is that the Mosasaur? I guess it has been another hour, buddy. And I guess I did promise. Right, give me 1 second, my guy. Probably about time for the bones to get up and stretch for a minute. Alright, so doggy's demanding potty again. So we're gonna take him out because he did wait for the amount of time that I asked him to. So now would be a good time to go potty yourselves, get a drink, get a snack, just stand up and stretch. We'll be right back. Okay. We are back. Sorry about that. I had to refresh my drink as well. And my one hip keeps locking up today, so it was probably good that we got up and moved around for a minute. Okay. So let's see about getting our next bit in here. Okay, let's see. Let's snip that. And we'll get that guy popped into there. Oh, see? That one got stuck in there. Didn't hit my finger. I think I was on the bottom seam edge there, but that's why we wear them. Because my aim is not always the greatest. Getting that brown tapped in a bit more. Okay. So let's see here. Kind of got distracted for where our line should be. I think we're about here. At least that's what we're gonna go with for right now. Now we're done with this set of grass mixture. I think I'm gonna put our water line in, so I don't have to worry about that. fact, we might just do that now. I mean, we're not doing too bad. Toss the other colors that I accidentally pulled out back into their bucket. Do you have Zuzu?
No.
Okay. My mom must have finally laid down because she was outside smoking when I was out with Momo. Alright. So just gonna try to get our water line popped into here. Okay, so there's that guy. And then it looks like there's another little bit maybe back in here. So we got that guy there. Okay, and I think there should be a little bit more. See, our ground's a little bit differently shaped than Bob's is here. So we're gonna have to figure that out there. Okay. And let's see. Bob, I need you to move your hand just a little bit. That was too far. Okay, but that'll let me see what I needed to see. Okay. Kind of. Alright, this should actually come over. A little bit further. Okay. Is that all the white? Oh, I was gonna say. I swear we pulled out more white than that. Okay. So then we've got a little bit more. Kinda in here. Just kind of on our land water seam there. And then we've got just a little bit more. See if we can get this stretched out a little bit more. Don't want it too thin, because then it's just gonna vanish on us. Okay. So we're gonna do just a little bit more. Oh. Got caught on my finger there. Just kind of re-tapping down bits of our water area, because why the heck not? Okay, that's probably good enough there on that one. All right. And then we've got another bit of a water line kind of hanging out over in here. Don't know how much of this will be visible. Once we get everything else put in place over here. But we'll know we did it. And who knows, it might be peeking out around the trees and stuff that are gonna end up over in here. Okay. Not too bad. So I'm going to tuck that bit of white back in our bag there for right now. Alright. Now I think on this side, I think we're going to pick back up on this side over here. I think I would like to finish that one side there before we move on to the next spot. It's 89 out currently. It feels like 95. We don't have any rain in sight for probably another week. That's crazy. Let's see. Flare out those guys a bit. Like, they don't have to be super spread out. I just find it helps a little bit. Give it a bit more of a realistic grassy feel. They're kind of going in different directions there. But we're not doing too bad today. I mean, the grass is always a little bit slow. For sure. Do want to make sure we get this thin spot here covered up. So we're going to take our time attaching, and I might have to layer up over here just a little bit. Okay. Come back in with our needle and just kind of spread everybody out there. Okay. Snip, 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 gently. Try to get close to the project without cutting anything that we're not supposed to be. Which can be tricky sometimes. I will say that. Alright, we got this little tiny guy here. So we'll go ahead and make them our little V shape here. And we'll tack down our base. Well, that works out because that will fill in over top of that thin area of the brown quite nicely. And that is looking pretty good. Okay. So, we need to mix some more green. Or some more grass green together. Let's start with our mustard this time. Okay. And how about we grab our light green? I think this is the same layer order we did on the last one, actually. I don't really think it matters all that much, but I mean, we're gonna twist it into a fluffy snake. So it's probably fine. Alright. And we're just gonna gently do our rolling hair. Okay. So I started to... I do not want to keep this line straight, do I? Something about it. I keep trying to shorten it. That piece looks a little more blobby, but maybe that's a shrub or something. Yeah, I just keep trying to take this up on an angle. I don't know what my brain blockage is about this today. Okay. So we do have a little bit more of some gray poking through right there. I'm not sure if the camera is picking that up or not. But that shouldn't be too much of an issue. I think we'll be able to get that covered up pretty well. As we march along down the edge here. Yeah, that's not real super visible. I can see it, but I'm also right on top of it. So that's not all that surprising. So my goal today has now become to at least try to finish one side with our grass. Can we make that happen? That might depend on our four-legged friend. We will see. Okay. Probably need to squeeze in one more on this row. To get that little bit of brown covered up. I mean, in reality, that side might be a little bit faster to fill in to reach that goal today, but we've already chosen this side. So this is the side we're going to keep going with. You can hear the tone of the tap change when I tap the tape. Not sure if the puncture dots are picking up on the camera or not. I might not be zoomed in far enough. Okay, that's not too bad on the edge there. Alright, now let's see here. I don't know if, do I wanna? I don't know, this might need to be. That might have been a little long there. Maybe kind of sort of. Maybe we're okay. So as we're tapping that in over our land area there, tightened up a little bit. Alright, so I need to keep this a little bit tall, at least right in here, so that we are tagging the bottom edge. So I don't want there to be like a huge line gap when we get to the bottom of the grass over here. Ooh, time to change sitting positions. Okay. Next bit of fluffy stuff. Okay. Alright, not too bad. Looks like I'm okay with a little bit of brown peeking through in spots. I just didn't want a whole lot of it. Alright, so that's not too bad. Okay. Try to keep our measurement going here. Probably should have went with a slightly darker tree or a slightly lighter tree up in here, because it's a little hard to see the grass coming up in front of it, but I was a little worried that that was going to happen. Nothing for it now. We're committed to that color. See, that's just going to be what it is. Okay. Get our last little bit from that section. Worked into here. Get all of our little loose ends and everything connected. Okay. I mean, it's not too bad. Our water line definitely helped back in here. Okay. Time to get a bit more of our grass color blended. Up here as best as we can. You know, just however much you want in that section. It's gonna vary how much is in there per grassy strip. Which is, you know, really how it should be. And then we're gonna snake this guy together. Okay. Let's try to figure out our bottom line here. So right now I'm more worried about trying to keep our bottom lines of our rows mostly straight. Or at least straight-ish, so that way I don't get too carried away. And take them up a hill that isn't there. As I keep trying to do. For reasons, I guess. I don't know. And then we'll snip once again. So in theory, we have about an hour left today. To work on this guy. That section got very yellow. Didn't it? Okay. Not too bad. I'm getting there. Okay, let me just check on one thing real quick. Okay. So we'll fan that out a little bit. We have one more, I think, on this row over here. Then we can move down to the next section and figure out our length on that one. Maybe this will be 2. No, 1 might be good. Yeah, 1 will do it. Okay. And we'll trim that. Okay. Just trying to make sure that we're as close to the edge there as we can get. Okay. Just gonna brush that section down and back in here. I keep sliding out of this chair. It's too slippery. I have no idea why. because it shouldn't be. Okay. So we'll have our next line about there-ish. That doesn't look too bad. Alright. That could probably be a little bit lower. But we're here now, so we'll just kind of roll with it. And we'll see where it takes us. This is why I did the brown underneath, because then I don't have to stress so much if we have brown popping through. And it looks a little more patchy and naturally grown that way. Okay. And now we'll start sliding over a bit. At least a bit more than we were. We kind of got stuck in that one spot there. That should have us moving on. Okay. Not doing half bad here today. We have meandered a little bit, but you know, that's all right. We're in a section where we can meander, and that's okay. Okay. We might be able to get one more before we do our V shape here. That's a little long for the V shape. At least it felt a little long. Desk meet elbow. Elbow meet desk. We've done this before. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and flip that up. So I'm just trying to anchor the bottom of that before I take off doing the top edges. We did skip a spot there somehow. Interesting. Did we use all of our orange or did I lose it? Or our yellowy color? I guess I used all of it. Didn't remember doing that, but okay. Well, yeah, anywhere. Probably a good time to rotate our mat here. Get some of our light green kind of stretched out in here. Alright, and we'll get some more of our forest green in here. Okay. And we'll make our next fluffy snake. Okay. So we'll probably do 2 more in this row. We need to get this edge here by the tape. And we'll get right up in there along the tape. As best as we can. I'm gonna pop that up there, get a better look at it. Just make sure we're okay there. We seem to be. And that's a little bit of a bigger gap than I wanted. Right there. And we'll get that guy worked into that spot. We might get this side's grass done, at the very least. I don't think we'll get both sides grass done today here, but we're definitely well on our way here. Now he's got an extra shrub that I did not notice. On this side. Like down in here where this and this meets. I don't know if I'm gonna put that in, because it just kind of blended into the background. And I'm not sure that I really need it over here. Sorry, I was looking at my sketch and comparing it to his. If we do, it'll be the same kind of pine tree that we put in over here on the other side there. But we're moving along pretty good now. Probably because we focused on one side. Sometimes my brain needs that, needs to see the progress moving forward, and you can see it moving forward just more slowly when we're going straight across. But there's some days where my brain just wants to see quicker progress, so sometimes you just need to work on a smaller area or focus in on a smaller area, and we were able to do that over here. And it just kind of helps everything move along a bit. Okay. So we'll get this guy tucked in next. Are you not taking a nap? I'm just asking. Because I didn't know if we were still doing game night and... I will say it is getting to be the time of day in here where it is sweltering. It's either too hot in this room or too cold in this room. We can't seem to hold a happy in-between for very long. Okay, one more on this row. So let's get this guy spread out here. And I want to focus along the tape edge just to get that anchored in, because we are on the very edge of where we're going to trim with that. So I do want to make sure that that is filled in pretty good. Since we won't have a whole lot of room there to make too many adjustments. All right. Get that tapped into there. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Alright. So our tape's kind of working on this side, but I got it a little bit closer. You can kind of see where we wiggled a little, but so we might try the tape on one more project just to help keep the edges a bit more in check. Alright, let's see, how long do we want this one to be? Maybe about there-ish. Probably a pretty good length there. And then we'll probably have one more row to go on this side. Since we're making these a little bit longer, we are blowing through our grass strips a little bit faster, but that's okay. We'll just mix some more. Like, I should have plenty of the forest green for today at least. Maybe tomorrow. But I've got a few colors that we're gonna have to refill here. But we're gonna have to find the time to do that. Probably have to refill them before we start the final one of this season's tutorials that we're following. I prefer to have our fluff ready ahead of time, so that way we're not wasting time on stream getting enough fluff refilled, although we might have to do, if I'm having a hard time finding the time during the week to do it, we might have to do a live stream where we're just refilling fluff bags. Though that won't be very exciting, so we'll see what we can do. Alright. So getting this guy tapped into here. Now I did clean, well, I sort of cleaned our mat. I sort of defluffed the mat, just a quick pass over before we got started today. It'll always have some bit of fluff still attached to it, I think. It's just the nature of these things for what we're doing. I'm sure if you're just doing the figurines, it probably won't be quite so much. I mean, the back's not half bad either. Front's definitely prettier. For certain. I mean, this is the side that you're supposed to look at. Okay. Ooh. Hip is angry today. Okay. Alright, so we'll get just a little bit more of our light green pulled out here. But I'm pretty happy with where we're at the moment. So this one's going to be a little bit more forest green heavy. That's okay. Goes a bit of our mustard color. Okay. We're just sticking to everything here today, except for what I want it to. 'Cause that's the way that always goes, right? Okay. So let's get back to stabbing here. And try to get this section of grass finished up. Before we have to call it a day. Okay. So we got one more on this row. Pop that up there. And I just want to make sure that we're attached before we start adding some more to it. Okay. That's not too bad in there. So let's come on in and we'll snip that off. Okay. Just have to figure out how tall we want these guys. I kind of want him to be sitting on the bottom edge of the brown there. So we're going to be bringing some more brown back into this. In short order here. So we're gonna have to put some ground in place. He's just gonna probably sap green a good portion of the next section in. But we did deviate slightly for how we're gonna handle it. Like I said, I prefer having that brown base when it comes to laying in the green on top of it, so that way if anything does peek through, it'll be our brown, and it'll just like look like dirt breaking through in the shadows, or potentially other shadows. So loud vehicles aplenty all of a sudden. That are vibrating the container I have my feet resting on. Pop that section up there. Actually, I'm going to turn this guy another time. Might as well. And we'll have some other stuff kind of sitting in front of this. I did some shrubberies in here. I don't know what's going to be closest to whether or not we get this section finished today. certainly gonna try. But if I run out of fluff, then I run out of fluff mixed and we'll have to finish it tomorrow. But still, we made some decent progress. Or at least it feels like we have. So we'll get this worked into here. And let's get our next guy. Settled into here. Sorry, just making sure the other pieces are all attached here, because one of them looked like they were a little loose down there. And I'm not really looking for any loosey-goosey business here. Just not looking for anybody to be too terribly loose. So we run a tight fuzzy ship around here. I'm not even sure how much of this row is going to end up being visible once everything is said and done. This might be enough to finish. We might be just short. But at this time of day, I'm not gonna mix more. If we end up being just short, we'll get it tomorrow, although we might be alright. We might be alright. Jeez, that stereo in that car is way too loud. Way too loud. I don't know how people can stand it to be that loud in the vehicle. But it's gotta be uncomfortable to listen to at that volume, right? Or am I just that sound sensitive? I mean, either's a good possibility with that. Whoop. Alright. So we'll get this all attached into here. Looks like we might just make it. We'll pop that guy up there. One more out of this before we have to do our V shape. Actually, we might be able to get one additional one. We might not need to do the V shape at all. Well, I don't know, we're getting really small here. Maybe we'll just finish off this row with the V shape. Probably be a better decision to do so. Alright. So we'll get anchored in here. And then we'll get this guy attached into here. And we'll just work some more brown up into this corner right here. When we get to that part, probably, well, we might start the brown down here tomorrow. We'll see. That depends on if we can get this section over here finished, and I think we should be able to, depending on what time we start tomorrow. That's gonna be the big thing. We'll have to see what life throws our way in the morning. But I think that's a good place to stop for tonight. And I think we've made some pretty decent progress there for now. So we will pick this back up tomorrow with finishing in our greenery over here. So I do want to thank you guys for popping in and checking things out this afternoon. Tomorrow we'll be back with this in the afternoon. Not sure what time we'll get started tomorrow, by 2 at the latest, I believe. But I hope you have a good week if I don't see you tomorrow. Try to stay cool in this heat that some of us are experiencing. And until next time, everybody.